Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashlyn. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. And if you're a subscriber or you've watched my videos before, thank you for tuning in again. So today I want to talk about goal envy. Goal envy. So this topic is pretty interesting. But have you ever been like one of those people? I'm sure you have. Like most of us has. We are more alike than we think. But have you been one of those people where you're trying to reach a goal and maybe you've been working on it for a while, or maybe you just started and you're just starting to kind of like get your feet wet with the goal? It could be any goal. It could be weight loss or whatever, or it could be YouTube. It could be starting a clothing line or whatever. And then all of a sudden, or maybe you start to gain momentum a little bit, and then you start seeing other people doing the same thing that you're doing or doing something similar to what you're doing, and you start to get discouraged because maybe you feel like your idea is not original because such and such is doing it, or you feel like, well, if they're doing it, then why should I? Or you start to get discouraged. So this message is for you. So I was doing some journaling. Actually, I was listening to an audiobook the other day, and that thought came to my mind because I know that I don't experience that now, but I've experienced that in the past where I've seen somebody doing the same thing that I want to do, and I'm like, what is this about? But I realized that instead of seeing it as a negative, that's actually a sign. That's actually a sign from the universe that you are on the right track. When you start seeing people, or you start seeing the very things that you're wanting to create in your life, or you want the goals that you want to have, when you start seeing those things come across your sight or your vision, that means you're on the same street as that thing. That means you're on the same path. That means you're headed in the right direction. Because sometimes you never know that, like, if you see another person doing what you do, they may be somebody you can learn something from, and they may be somebody that can teach you something, or they may just be somebody, you never know, y'all might become friends or something, or whatever. Or if not, you can still, there's always something you can gain from another person, or there's always something you can gain from the person that you have the goal envy. And I say it's goal envy because you may start looking at them and, like, maybe you only have a certain amount of following, and then they have more, or they do it this way or whatever. I feel like just don't get into that, because when you start getting into all of that kind of thinking, it's like you just go down, and then you start feeling bad about yourself and bad about what you're creating, and you don't feel like what you're working on is good enough, or and really when I'm talking about it, it just kind of sounds like that's not true. Don't do that to yourself, because whatever you have a passion for and it's something that's in your heart that you really want to do, just trust that it's there for a reason. And instead of looking at the things on the outside like wrong, start looking at them as signs, because sometimes people don't know what's going on in your heart and what's in your mind. People don't really know your full intentions or your goals unless you share them with them. So, and a lot of times you'll find that you see people doing something similar to you, but at the same time, you have your own unique spin that you'll put on it, because there's only one you. There's only one of each person. We all have different DNA and everything like that. Even if we look alike, we're different people. So just don't get into the comparison and don't get discouraged. Take it as a sign from the universe that you're in alignment with your goal, that you are on the right track with what you want to accomplish, and it's right around the corner, or you may be closer than you think. So if you keep a mindset, like a happier, a positive mindset on like how anything that whatever you see can be a positive, then you'll stay optimistic and you'll keep going, and you'll eventually get where you're trying to go. And I just feel like that's something that's important. Like, I just thought about that because I know I've had that in the past, and I've heard people say that. They be like, well, such and such took my idea, or they doing this and they're doing that. But really, sometimes that person, 9 times out of 10, that person didn't know you had that idea. They didn't know that. They didn't purposely try to take it. So we just have to see it. Like, when you really step back and think about what you just said, you probably will realize, like, hold on, that's not really what it is. So it's actually a sign. It's actually, because that means you're on the same vibration. Y'all on the same track. That means you getting where you're going, because wherever your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're focused on this particular goal, you'll start to see it. Just like if you, when you go to buy a car, for people who've bought a car, you'll start to see that car everywhere, because you've been focused on it for a while, and you like, I didn't even know so many people that had these Porsches or whatever, this particular Porsche, unless you get it customized. And it's like, well, because you're focused on it, it's popping up in your reality, and that's just showing you that it's possible for you. And just, that's just the way it goes. Just like if you know about the law of attraction. So whatever you focus on, you attract more to you. So that's really what's going on. It's more so a sign and a signal that, yeah, ding ding, you're right on point. So instead of being envious of other people in any way, if they're doing something that you're doing or whatever, see it as a sign and take it as a positive thing. So I hope that helps, and I hope it makes sense. Have a good one. Peace.